The first area that we want to go into, because nothing is going to be successful if you're not in the right stance. So we will go into the proper stance, how to hold your hands, where to position your feet, and what to do with your whole body when you're moving or when you're stationary. Working with me today will be my son Dean. Morning, Dean. And the two of us will show you exactly how to get into the proper stance. To begin with, you want to take a position of knees bent and the right toe on a parallel with the left heel, with the weight slightly forward, the chin down, and hands up, so that the thumb of the left hand can always touch the left shoulder. The right thumb can touch your right chin. That way, your hands are high enough, and you don't have to hold them up. One important point here is the fact that if I go around all day long having to hold my hands up like this, it's very tiring through 10 rounds. But by just dropping my hands to this position, I now am in a safe position. My left thumb is off my left shoulder. My right thumb is off of my chin, and I'm not having to hold my hands up all the time, and yet I'm covering myself. Elbows in, chin down, about 5 degrees forward, and the head always equidistant between the two legs, and the most important point of all, with the knees flexed. All right, you can relax now, Dean. I want to stress how important the position of the knees and the flex is. This is what is called the hitting position. It doesn't make any difference what sport you're involved in. If you're trying to be a shortstop in baseball, if you're trying to receive a serve in volleyball, if you're trying to be a quarterback, it doesn't make any difference. This is the position with the knees flexed, where you have drive, where you have power. Same thing in boxing. You must be in this position, knees flexed, slightly forward, head equidistant, hands up, chin down. Now you're ready to go. Now once you get into this position, you are now ready to effectively move front, back, side, any way that you want to go if you're in this position. But you have to be balanced. Have to be balanced. No bouncing up and down, but the knees flexed. All right? Now we'll go to stepping in and stepping out, which is the keystone of what I consider to be the most important points in boxing as far as effectively learning how to punch. You must be able to go in, you must be able to go out, and you must be able to do it smoothly. I call it step and glide, and Dean, if you'll come in here, we'll show you what the step and glide is. He will step forward, pushing off his back foot, and then step back. That's all. The right foot comes to where the left foot was. This is all. You can do it with your hands down. The important thing is to keep balance, to have your right toe slightly forward, and to step 6 to 12 inches, whatever distance is needed to effectively close with your opponent. Okay, step back in, Dean. Now, there's several things that you don't want to do here, and I want to cover those right now. One is, when you step, you don't want this back foot to come off of the floor. That's what you don't want to do. You must step smoothly in and out. Let's show it the right way. That's it. Do not raise your back foot off the floor. The other thing is, you must have the right heel slightly off of the floor so that you can push off of the toe. This is extremely important in developing power. Then when you step, you're pushing off the back toe, stepping in and stepping out. Also, you don't want to make a false move with the front foot. This must be a smooth, sliding, gliding step. See that? Very good. That's it. Smooth, effective movement will give you the chance to transfer weight, which is the key to the whole thing in effective punching. What you have to do in boxing is this. You must transfer the weight from the back foot to the front foot. This is true in so many sports. Golf, throwing a football, as they say, getting over the top, making the throw in baseball. All of this is weight transfer. But in boxing, it's paramount that you do this because the hands and arms are only delivery mechanisms. That's all they are. It's not important how much strength you have other than having, of course, the normal strength to move your arms. But everything that you develop as far as punching power starts in the toe, comes up through the calf, up through the back of the leg, the hips, the back, the shoulders. That's it. The arms only deliver. The rest of the body is what propels and gives you power. Step back in here, will you please, Dean? So what you must do is you must be able to transfer this weight. So I have a little drill that I give people to do, and I'll show that to you right now, how to get this delivery mechanism working. You can do it in a 3-step count by starting with the right foot, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm ready to punch. 1, 2, 3, ready to punch. Dean, come on back in here. So if we were doing this with the jab, turn around. I'll show you how this works. Start with the right foot. 1, 2, 3, punch. Because the weight then is on the back foot, and he's transferring the weight to the front. Now, once you develop this, you don't have to count to yourself. It's not necessary because it will come automatically for you. But in the beginning, it's extremely important that you get this feel of weight transfer from back to front, back to front, back to front, back to front. I can't emphasize how much you should practice just that one simple maneuver so that everything is happening from back to front and coming out my hand. Dean, see it. You can just bam. That's it. 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, bam. That's a good example of getting the weight transferred from the back foot to the front foot. And once you learn to do that, and it's the same thing, Dean, step back in, please. Same thing, not just with the jab, but with the right hand or any punch that you throw, you must get this feeling of weight transfer. Extremely important. I want to go into the next phase of footwork, which is going forward and going backwards. Going forward, we've touched on, but I'll go over it again. In the proper stance, here I am in a square stance now. I haven't gotten into slant stance yet. Everything pretty much is square right now. This is what I mean by square. This means that my right hand is closer to my opponent, but there's more of me to hit because I now am totally square to my opponent so he can see me completely. However, if I go to a slant stance, which means that I turn just slightly, about 45 degrees in this angle, now I'm lined up in this position. My left hand is closer to him. My right hand is further away for punching, but I'm a little safer here. And the key thing in stance is, whether I'm square or whether I'm slant, is for me to make sure that I line up my left foot with his left foot. Dean, step in a minute and we'll take a look at that. So in other words, when we're in this position, I am lining up my left foot with his left foot. Why am I doing that? Because I'm on this side where it's easy for me to slip to the outside away from his right hand. I'm also further from his right hand to begin with than if I'm square when he now has both guns right on me. He's got both guns right on me here. That means that we're in a fight now. But if I just move this much and make sure that my left foot is lined with his left foot, that right hand's got further to go now. I'm able to maneuver from this position, and I now am able to slightly favor the outside where I'm much safer away from this and away from this. Now let's go to going forward and going backwards. If I want to go forward, all I'm going to do is get in my stance, whether it's square or slant, and I'm going to step and glide, step and glide, step and glide forward, bringing my feet along with me. If there's one thing that I would like any of you who are watching this tape to get, it's the fact that you must bring your feet with you. It's the essence of being able to punch hard, to track an opponent, and also to get away from an opponent. Now, as I step back, I'm still in my stance, hands are up, chin down, and as my right foot touches, I glide back. Right and glide. I'm gliding back now with the left foot. Back, back, So if I were jabbing as I went back, as my right foot lands, I jab. I jab. I jab. I jab. Same thing going forward or backwards. Now, step back in, Dean. This, then, is lined up correctly. We're lined up correctly, and I want to go in and go out. Now, I want you to watch him go in and go out. Straight back now. That's all he's going to do. He's going to go straight back, not to the side. He's going to step in and jab and go straight back. Boom, and back. Just like that. Now, if I want to go off at an angle, I'm facing my opponent, but I don't want to do the same thing. This is the essence of boxing as well. Don't fall into a pattern at any time, footwork-wise, hand-wise, anything. Something creative and different all the time. So I step in and I step out. I'm going straight in and straight out. Step in, step out. However, if I want to get away from his dangerous right hand, I step in and I step back at 45 degrees this way. Step in and back at 45 degrees this way. Now if I want to come back to the middle, step in and back here. If I want to go to the other side, step in, and with a very slight pivot with my left toe, I now go out this way, and I'm off at this angle. It's a little more dangerous because I'm on his right-hand side. But there's three ways I can go. I'm in the middle. Step in, step out. Step in, go off to the right. This is the safest because I'm away from his right hand. Step in, straight back. Now I'm going to go into his right-hand side, but I'm going to make sure that I take a deep step back so he's got to really reach to hit me here and back here. Why do I do this? I never give my opponent the chance to time where I'm going to be. Now, there's two variations off of this that you must learn to be effective. One is I come in and I drop. That's another variation that's very good because he's seen me go out this way, seen me go straight back, seen me go off this way. Now the next time I come in, maybe he thinks, hey, I'm going to hit this guy with a right hand, but I'm in and I drop. And anything's going to go over my head, now I'm in a position to counter. The other area that you must become effective in, and this is the best thing in the world to get away from right hands. Dean, step out here and I'll show you how this works. This is a little variation of the step in and go back at an angle away from the right hand. I now step in, bang, and I step to the right after I jab. Now, he'll do it. Now watch this. He'll step in, boom, and right out. He's gone. Impossible for me to hit him with a right hand. Let's try it again. Comes in, bam, and right out. He's gone. Now let's show the jab and drop. Bam, and drop. And he's right out of the way. Where is he? I don't know. Now I want him to show you the three different moves going off at an angle and how difficult it is to hit him on any of these angles if I'm trying to try. Boom, you're going to go, bam, right there. He's gone. He's hit me, but he's gone. Back. Now just go straight back. Bam, and right back. He's gone. Now go out that way. Bam, there. Okay, now come back in and drop. Boom, and drop. Okay, now come in and step out this way. Bam, and right out. Awfully difficult to time a counter punch on a fighter that's doing that effectively. The other area that I want to get into right now with this, step back in please, Dean. Here's one of the greatest maneuvers in the world, which works with what I've just shown you, and that is the feint and step back. Now he's come in, hit me, and moved out at these different angles. Now he comes in and feints and right back. But he hasn't stepped in, so if I'm trying to, I think, well, I'm going to counter this guy somehow, and boom, boy, I've got to reach for him, and I'm not in position to do it. These then are the essence. This is the essence, excuse me, of going in and going out. Let's go over it one more time, and I'll do it for you. I'm up here, chin down, hands up, in, straight back. In, back at 45 degrees. In, straight back. In, pivot, and off on the left-hand side. Now I come in, boom, and drop. Come in, and out, and feint and step back. All of these areas, footwork, vital to being a successful fighter. You're not going to get any place without it. Next, I want to talk about the left jab. The most important punch in boxing. A lot of people refer to a left jab and talk about how important it is, but they don't stress it as far as how it can be used, how many different ways it can be used, how many different positions the jab can be thrown from, and how it can be used as an offensive weapon and a defensive weapon. Old-time boxing masters used to say that if you can't handle the other guy's jab, you can't win. And if he can't handle your jab, he can't win. So the jab is the most important punch in boxing, and we'll go over the jab right now in all of its different aspects. One thing to remember is the stance. Once again, we're going into the same basic stance that we had. We'll start with a square stance. We can do this from a slant stance. It doesn't make any difference which stance we're in, as long as the jab, to begin with, is fired right off of the shoulder. The important thing, once again, for the jab is that the arm motion coordinate with the feet, with the buttocks, with the back, with the shoulders, so that we have good weight transfer for the jab as it goes forward. I want to make one point about the jab here. A lot of boxing instructors tell you that the wrist must be pronated on the jab to get effective striking power and to get an effective striking surface. I think that it's fine to pronate this wrist if you want to, as long as you're not getting into a backhand type of movement. That's why I like to teach the jab with the thumb up, the palm in, until all this motion has become straight through. Otherwise, if you start pronating this, I found this with people when they learn that they start pronating this wrist too soon, they start to get into this kind of a motion. Pretty soon they're into this kind of a motion, which is nothing but a jab from the elbow out and totally ineffective. So, when you learn the jab, start off with the thumb up all the way through so that the bones of the forearm, the upper arm, extend right through to the shoulder and down, so that it will look like this if I were stepping straight in. Just like this. I'm jabbing and blocking. Hit, block, and get away. This is the essence of the jab. Hit, block, and get away. When the arm comes through, it covers my chin. This then protects me from an uppercut. I'm in position to block a hook if it comes, or I'm in a position to step back and I still have this arm between me and my opponent's right hand. Many people will say, you want to bring this back quickly. Of course you do, but not at the expense of following through and getting maximum power. That's essential. You must get maximum power, otherwise why jab at all? Now, we will also go into a jab that is not a power jab, which is the speed jab, which is used against a dangerous opponent early in a fight when you don't want to really declare yourself. You don't want to follow through all the way. What you want to do is tantalize your opponent and find out what he's going to do to counter your good jab. Now, the speed jab is thrown right from the same area. It goes out, but I'm not stepping in real hard with it. I'm only stepping maybe 2 inches at most in this manner and out. In this manner and out. I'm not really declaring myself and going all the way through. This is declaring myself and going all the way through. Bringing it back on a line to my shoulder, yes. Of course I want to bring it back here for safety. But never at the expense of getting it all the way through. So, the hard jab, power jab all the way through, the speed jab, out, but back quickly. Out and back quickly. I'm thinking more about getting in and getting out safely than I am just biting my jab through my opponent. I always want to drop through target, but I don't want to ever get out here and be at like Venus at the pump, as they used to say, which is not a good position. So, feet come along with me, bang, back. Hit, block, get away. Hit, block, get away. Hit, block, and get away. Now, when you're practicing the jab, do this. pretend that your opponent is throwing different punches back at you. So if I'm going to jab and block, I'm now blocking the jab, but you also want to practice jab and block the hook. Jab and block the hook. Your opponent may not have a good jab. He may try to hook as a counter every time to your jab. He also may want to throw a right hand. If that's the case, practice jabbing with a very slight cross block. I've gone from here to here. Jab with a slight cross block. Jab with a slight cross block. Jab with a slight cross block, just in case he's trying to counter my jab with his right hand. So we have 3 ways to jab and block. Jab and block the jab, jab and block the hook, jab and block the right hand. Remember those 3. Another area of a jab that I want to touch on is bringing the jab back. Sometimes when I'm out here with my jab, I can bring it back halfway, I can bring it back 3/4, or I can bring it back all the way. Depends on where I want to come with the jab. If I want to get it in quickly, I'm only going to bring it back halfway. And if I want to get a little more time, a little more power, I can bring it back to 3/4. And if I want total power on it, I can bring it back even with my right hand. Now when I step, I've got all this area to go. Of course, it's going to take a little longer to get there, which brings up another good point. If you're faced with an opponent that has more reach than you do or a faster jab than you do, one of the first options that you should always look at for yourself is stick your left hand out a little further to begin with so it has less distance to go. You may be able to beat him to the punch. The other area of the jab that's very important is you always want to vary the number of jabs that you throw and the pace of the jab. You don't want the same pace on the jab all the time. As I explained earlier, there's the quick jab, the speed jab, the snake's tongue jab, as they used to call it, which is quickly in and out. It's a safety first jab. Then there's the hard jab that you drive all the way through, punching through the target. But also, you want to vary the pace on the jab. You don't want your opponent to think this is the same pace all the time, and then you can time it. Sometimes you want to put it out there with good speed on it. Bam! Sometimes you want to just lay it out there and bring it back, but always bringing it back safely. So vary the pace of your jab and vary the number of jabs that you throw. 1 jab, 2 jab, 3 jabs. Always remembering the most important point of all that I keep focusing on, and I will all during this tape, stepping on every punch. I don't care if you're standing in the same place. Make sure that you're stepping. Just picking that left foot up just a 1/4 of an inch off the floor to get that step, to get that weight transfer. Extremely important. If I throw 1 jab, step. If I throw 2 jabs, step, step. If I throw 3 jabs, step, step. If I throw 4 jabs, step, 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 step. Always stepping, always getting weight transfer, always getting power. Now, the next area that I want to go into is where do I deliver the jab from if I don't always want to deliver it off of my shoulder? I have other areas that I can shoot the jab from. Many trainers will tell you, you must shoot the jab from the shoulder, otherwise you're laying yourself open to a counter right hand or a lead right hand. Not true. The only thing that's important is not where I throw the jab from, it's where I bring it back to. If I want to drop my jab down in this area, right here, if I want to drop it to here, if I want to pull it back to here, if I want to go slant and get this kind of a jab that a lot of guys use, old-time guys use, Tommy Hearns used this jab, I'll get power, increased power, but what's the key for safety for me? Bring it back high. So I can start my jab from down low. It doesn't make any difference as long as I bring it back high. I can step in with a power jab right off of my hip, right to here, as long as I bring it back high. Now I'm safe from counterpunching. Now you say, well, you've got your jab down here to begin with. Isn't the guy going to hit you with a right hand if you're here or here? Isn't he going to lead with a right hand and hit you? If I can get hit with that, I shouldn't be in the ring. Believe me, I've got this hand to guard, I've got my shoulder, I've got my feet. If I get hit with that, I deserve to get hit with it. So remember that. Shoot your jab from any place you want to. Vary it. Shoot it sometimes from here, sometimes from here, sometimes from here, sometimes from here. What's the key point? Always bring it back to your shoulder. So if a counter punch is coming, I've got this glove between my opponent's right hand and me. I want to demonstrate now what has been referred to in the past and still in some quarters as hitting on the fly. A lot of people don't know exactly what it means, but we'll demonstrate it for you right now. Dean, come on in. Very important to be able to hit on the fly. What it means is you're not going to set to hit. You're not even going to go in and go out. You're going to be moving your feet rapidly in one direction or the other while you jab. Very effective in circling an opponent. Against a real hard puncher, sometimes it can drive him crazy because he's got to get set to hit, and it's very, very difficult to hit a moving opponent. That's why we teach going in and going out, so that you don't have your head in the same place you threw the punch from. But when hitting on the fly gives you even more of an advantage because you don't get quite the power that you do when you're stepping in and stepping out, but it's very difficult to time you, and it's a good point-scoring maneuver. And we'll show it to you right now. First of all, we'll have Dean circle to his left, hitting on the fly as he goes. Then we'll show you another move off of that. Usually it'll be done in the 2s and 3s, can be done low, can be done high, but we'll start off with just a high jab, hitting on the fly, and then going into a side step back and away from that. All right, here we go. Bam, 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 and then right back and away. Very difficult to time anybody who's doing this. Okay, man. Bam, bam, bam. 3 fast jabs and then a side step back and away. Where did he go? Well, I don't know because I couldn't hit him. Let's try it again. Bam, 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 and back and away. Impossible to hit a guy like this. And you can do this anytime you want to. It's a great variation. Now, if you're going to go the other way, hitting on the fly, you will have to walk around your opponent. Dean, start over here, and just kind of walk around this way, hitting on the fly. Bam, bam. That's it. Back again. And walking to the right's a little more difficult because your natural weight, if you're a right-hander, means that it's carrying you to the left. When you have to walk to the right, it's a little more difficult, but still, you can put 2 or 3 together. Bam, 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 and right out. All right, now this time, just walk around like this. Just bam, bam, bam. Just walk around punching. Yeah. Bam, bam, bam. Good. I hope we got that. Here, let's start over here. Maybe we can see that a little better. I'll have him start right here, okay? Now just go right around. Bam, bam, bam. Good. Very difficult to time an opponent when he's hitting on the fly and moving. It's almost impossible. Now, step back in, Dean. I want to go into the feint low and jab high and the feint high and jab low. Going out, though, after the second, either feint or punch. We'll show it to you in sequence. First, I want him to feint low and jab high and go out. Here's the way it looks. Bam, and right out. The feint may cause me to imperceptibly tighten up, drop a little bit, I may get hit with a second punch. And even if I don't, he's gone and I can't hit him. And once again, a good scoring maneuver, as well as giving you an opportunity to see how your opponent is going to react to a feint in this manner. Okay, go ahead, same thing. Bam, and right out. Good. Try it again. Now here I am. I see the feint, bam, and he's right out. Excellent. Please make note of the fact that when he goes out, he's not going out high, he's going out with hands up, staying in a good defensive posture. Not going out, head back up, hands down, going back. I want you to watch this again. Watch him go out. Watch how he goes out. Bam! Right there, perfect. Now let's try the other way, all right? Now we're going to try with the feint. We're going to hit to the body. Feint high and jab low and go out. All right? Bam, bam. Good. Here, I'll give you a little target here to shoot at. Feint high, boom, bam, and out. Good. Going out low, hands up. Excellent. High, boom, bam, and out. Good. Try it again. Watch this. Boom, bam. Good. Good. Now, there's one area that I want to get into right now. It's a clever move, and this you can use it any time you want to if you're landing your jab. One in, Dean. Here's the sequence for this. I step in and I jab. Now I step in and I feint and go out. Now I feint and jab. It's a terrific sequence. Here's what it looks like. You're going to come in, jab and go out. Then he's going to come in, feint and go out. Now he comes in with another feint, but there's going to be a jab right off of it. All right. Boom, and out. Now feint. Oh, no, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, another feint. Bam, and a jab. All right, let's do it again. That was good. Try and hit the target this time. All right. Bam, and out. Good. Now feint. Boom, and out. Now feint and jab. Boom, bam. Excellent. Any maneuver like that. And you can be creative with some of these things yourself. You know, there's no law that says that you have to do it just like I say. You can make little variations of this, providing that you stay with the basics, that you step on every punch, that you stay well covered up, that your hands are up, then you can do anything you want to. Now I want to go into what I consider to be one of the best combinations in boxing. It works against everybody. It's worked for 100 years, and it'll work for another 100. That's the high, low, high jab combination, which will look like this. I'll come in high, then I go to the body, and then I go to the head. Very difficult to defend against, and an excellent punch and combination of punches which can open up a right hand later for you, and I'll show you how that works. Dean, first of all, we'll just go with the high, low, high. Let's go bam, bam, bam. Excellent. Now, the key coaching point on this is don't step with the third. I always say step on every punch. This is the one exception. You step on the first two, but not on the third one, for the simple reason that you may want to throw a right hand off of that. But I'll get to that in a minute. But let's just go over this again. Step in here, jab high, bam, bam, bam. Excellent. And out. Actually, just stay there. Just stay in there this time. Yeah. Bam, bam, bam. Excellent. Now, here's why you don't step on the third punch. He comes in, boom, now he goes low. Now he comes low, but now he brings this right back up. And if he catches anything there at all, you've got a right swing coming right behind it. And if you land, the fight's over. Here we go. Well, let's just do it very slowly. You come in, bang, boom, up, yeah, and then bam, right around. Excellent. Do it again. So let's do it a little slower this time so we can really get it, so you can really get a good look at it. You're going high, low, high, and then stay down and right around. Now you can also throw a right swing from there. It doesn't have to be a straight right hand. You can come around on that. So it'll be like this if I'm doing it. I'm going high, low, high, and then I'm coming around with a right swing, maybe catch him right on the chin. Just do it slow so we can see that, all right? Try it this time. Here it is. Boom, bang. Now you got him right there on a right swing. Bam, perfect. Try it one more time. High, boom, low, high, and a right swing. Perfect. Excellent punch, excellent punch. A lot of things you can do off of that. Okay, I want to go over two more areas of the jab. One, the jab to the body, and two, a high jab to the face off of a parry and off of a rock back or pull away. So Dean, if you'll step in here while we'll demonstrate those right now. First of all, the jab to the body. If you're going to jab to the body, I want you to go into a slight crouch, keeping the palm down and driving the punch right into the body when you're down low here. Get a little lower, right into here. Bam. Yeah, but stay in after you do it. Just come on in and stay there. Bam. And stay there. Now you have the option of two things after you've jabbed to the body. Actually, three. One, you can go out, as he just did. Two, you can come in here. He's bent over now. You can throw a left hook, a short, jolting left hook as you walk out to your right. Bam. Or three, you can just walk out of there. You just don't like the way it looks, and you just go out. You come in, you jab to the body, boom, and now just walk out. Right, low. I want you to walk out to the right. You've already gone back. Boom, it's safe. Yeah, just right out here. You have those options. Remember, in the jab to the body, turn the palm over and lock your arm out for maximum power. But be ready to move right afterwards. Okay. Now, the other jab to the body is you can come right straight in anytime you want to and throw a jab to the body. Bam. And then go out. But make sure you go out low. Bam. Or as you go out, throw a high jab. Watch what he does here. Boom, bam. That's it. Because if I'm following him in, I'm going to get hit. He may jab to the body, and I'm following, but look, another jab's coming right away. Remember that. Jab to the body, go out with a short jab without pulling your arm all the way back. Watch this again. Bam and bam, right there. Very difficult to counter them. Now, let's try the high jab with a parry of your opponent's jab. We'll do it very slowly. Dean, step in here. So if I were doing it, here's what I would do. I'm going to jab, but now remember, if I'm going to jab, I can't parry this into my own hand, or I'm going to stop my own jab. So this parry, if I'm going to parry and then jab, I have to parry down. Otherwise, I won't get my jab in. Remember that. This will be a downward parry, because if I parry straight across, boom, I've stopped my own jab. So remember that. If you want to parry and then jab, parry downward under your left armpit. Down here, now I can jab. Try that, Dean. Now, if you're going to, all right, you're going to parry, boom, bam, that's it. Here, boom, bam. Excellent, excellent. Now, now I'm going to show you one of the best maneuvers in boxing. Everybody does it. It's not revolutionary. Most good trainers teach this. Most fighters can execute it, but it still works. Nobody seems to be able to stop it, because the jab comes in first, he's going to go out twice, and then on the third time, he's not coming in. He's just going to rock back and wait for my jab, and you'll see what happens. Comes in, he jabs and goes out, boom, and out. Now he comes in again, jabs and goes out, boom, and out. Now he's ready. Now I start my jab, but he rocks back. Well, I bet, yeah, that's a maneuver, too, that you can use. You can use the right hand there if you want to. It's a good maneuver, but I want him to use the jab, all right? So you come in, jab, and out, all right? Jab and out, jab and out. Now, you wait for me to come in and jab, and then right back. All you do is just rock back slightly. Watch how he does it. Boom and out, boom and out. Now, I come in, he rocks back just slightly, and bam, right back with his own. Because now you've got a collision, which is what you want to get anytime you can. That's two forces colliding. You don't want to hit somebody when they're going away all the time. That's why it's so important in boxing. I want to make this point right now. Don't waste punches. Punch when you can hit something. Punch when you can hit the target. Don't just go out there and spray punches out, hope they're going to land. Be selective, punch at the target, and make sure that you hit something. All right, Dean, come on back in. Now what I want to do is, and we touched on it, he touched on it ever so briefly there is, and that is that you have the option off of the two jabs and stepping back to throw a right hand counter, which could be very good too. I will do this again so that you can see. He jabs and goes out. Always, by the way, just stop a second. Always set up some punch that you're getting ready to use with several jabs in and out. 2 jabs, 3 jabs, just going in and out. Don't come out and use the clever maneuver that you're going to use, whatever that is, whether it's a counter right hand, a counter jab. Don't come out and do that right away. Give your opponent a chance to fall into a little pattern of what you're doing. Then he will not be nearly as prepared for the surprise when it comes. Let's try it again. 2 jabs and then a right hand counter off of a slight rock back. Boom, and out. Bang, and out. Now he's ready. Now we're ready to do it because he thinks there's another jab coming. So I start in with my jab, boom, bam, and right away he's right there. Now we have a collision because I'm coming in. Let's try it again. Bam, and out. Bam, and out. Here I come. Bam. We just finished a segment on the left jab, and of course speed is paramount with the left jab. And many times people say to me, well, how do I increase the speed in my hands? How do I increase the speed of my left jab? Obviously, part of it is genetic, but a large part of it also is the proper drills and the proper techniques. Kind of interesting sidelight here. I talked with the late, great Sugar Ray Robinson, generally acknowledged as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time. And he talked about balance, timing, and delivery. And Joe Ferry, a legendary fight trainer who taught me just about everything I know about boxing, who had been around from the turn of the century, talked about balance, timing, and marksmanship. So here was Joe Ferry from the early part of the century, one of the greatest teachers of boxing in the history of the sport, and Ray Robinson, probably the greatest fighter pound for pound that ever lived, echoing almost the same comments: balance, timing, delivery, or marksmanship. What do they mean by that? Well, we've already covered balance, how important it is to have good balance. That's the essence of athleticism. Timing, what is timing in boxing? Timing is making sure that you don't punch at air, that you're not punching at nothing, that you hit the target. And the timing so that when the target is within striking distance, you're not hitting the target either too soon, where the punch is muffled and you can't extend your arm, or too late, you're too far from the target, so that the perfect striking range, which is with a bent elbow just about in this position and out, or if you have to reach too far, you've missed it. So that is timing. Hitting the target at the right time. Then, of course, they both talked about, they used a different term, but delivery, delivering the punch, delivering it accurately. How do you do that? You find the target and you find the area of the target that you want to hit. Either the chin, the side of the jaw, temple, solar plexus, underneath the heart, the liver. Those are the areas that you really want to see if you can maximize your power, because when you hit those areas, good things are going to happen for you. Now, what about speed? Well, balance, timing, and delivery. Doing it over and over and over again. Making sure that the legs are generating the power. The legs are everything. Like I always tell people, if you only have 15 minutes a day to work out in the gym, work on your legs. Most people think that boxing is a sport from the waist up. And in essence it is, because we're talking about hands delivering punches. Punching is boxing. But on the other hand, the legs generate everything. It's a leg sport, as most sports are. So anytime that you're going to work on something and you don't know what to work on your legs. Now, another point about hand speed. The Russian Olympic team around 25 years ago got into the area of using hand weights for their boxers to increase punching speed. They had some rather startling results as far as their own boxers were concerned, in that they found the hand speed that they generated through using very light hand weights was just incredible. How they did it, I will tell you. They took 1-pound weights, 2-pound weights, 3-pound weights, 4-pound weights. They used these weights in conjunction with various boxing maneuvers, the jab, the hook, the straight right hand, the uppercut, various defensive maneuvers, using, first of all, the maneuvers with just their hands, no weights, and they would do maybe 5 or 10 repetitions. Then they would use either the 1, 2, 3, 4-pound weights, increasing as they go along, and they would use the same maneuver using the weights. Then the third time, they'd go back to just using their hands. So it was a 3-step process without weights, with hand weights, without weights. Same number of repetitions, but in the middle group using hand weights. So you can try it out and see what happens. They had some great success with it. I've used it myself and found that it does help. But I still think that the most important thing is good timing, good reflexes, and good rhythm. Rhythm, one of the most underused terms in boxing, but it's everything. You must have rhythm. Rhythm to punch, rhythm to move. So keep those things in mind when you're trying to increase hand speed. Also, you can't throw too many jabs at the bag. Jab, 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 and when you're throwing hundreds of jabs and you don't know what to do, then throw some more jabs. And we're going to show you some heavy bag drills to increase power and strength in your punching. We'll be going over body punching, both to the body and to the head, and also another drill where we'll be shuffling from side to side as we would do if we had somebody trapped on the ropes and we were trying to get the correct position to deliver both left hooks to the body, right hooks to the body, left hooks to the head, right hooks to the head, both individually and in combination. Now Dean's going to step in here. We'll start off with just stepping to the outside, stepping over here, and throwing a left hook to the body. Bang. Perfect. Step, drop. The key here is step, drop, and pivot. Step, drop, pivot. Perfect. Remember here, key coaching point, do not bend from the waist. Bend from the legs. You drop into this. You do not bend over. You won't get any power if you're bent over. The legs will be stiff and you'll have no power. Step, drop, pivot. Perfect. Try it again. Step, drop, pivot. Okay? Now, step, drop, pivot, and we'll go into a 1-2 left hook low and left hook high. Let me go over one coaching point here that's very important. And that is when we throw a left hook to the body and we're going to double up with a left hook to the head, very important that we step, drop, pivot, then we drop the left hand just slightly and bring it right up with another pivot. We do not go here and then way out here and back. So it's going to be step, drop, pivot, pivot. Got it? Very important that you don't take that left hand too far out. Left hand comes right off of your hip. Step, drop, pivot, bang. Good. Step, drop, and pivot. Bang, bang, bang. Good. Drop that left hand a little bit more and make a little bit of a circular motion there rather than take it out. Here's the look that we want to get on this. Here, step, drop, pivot, and then just a very slight bend in the knees because we're going to pivot again. Bam, bam. Okay? Here's one thing that you don't want to do when you do this. Don't come in here and, first of all, never bend over from here. Always drop from the knees. Very important. Never bend, drop. And when you throw the left hook to the body, do not get wide. It comes right off the hip. Bang, it's done with the pivot. Bang, and then you do not take it back out. No. Here, and then just a little circular motion, a drop, and right back up. Bang. Okay. Good. A little more of a swing. We'll get a little more drop after the first one. Bam, bam. That's it. That's what we're trying to get. That effect. Speed. Step, drop, bam, bam. That's it. Right out of there. Let's try it again. Double hook. Bam, bam. Good. Now try it again. Give me a little more drop after the first hook to the body. So you're kind of loading up again, but you're doing it as you turn. Bam, bam. Perfect. Okay, now if we're going to go over on the other side here, we have several options that we can do here if we're going to punch to the body. One, we can be here and we can go into what essentially is a left shift. We'll just step forward with this foot and hook with the right hand. Same thing. Bam, bam. Step, drop, and pivot on the right side. Bam, bam. Yeah, right in here. All right. Remember this, don't get too far up here. All you want to do, you're right here, we're just going to step right to here. You don't have to get all the way around here. We're here, right here, boom, bam. Okay? Bam, bam, good. Give me a little drop on that. Bam, bam. Okay? Right away. Remember, we're not taking it way out. Everybody stays in close. Bam, bam. Ah, that's a good one. All right. Now we want to go to a very good drill. When we have the bag, we'll be swinging slightly, and we're going to use a shuffle step from side to side. This is the same thing when we go up in the ring. We'll show you how it works if we have somebody trapped in the ropes. And that is, as the bag starts swinging, I shuffle over, bang. Shuffle back, bang. Shuffle back, bang. Building it up as I go. Shuffle back, bang. Do not get the arms out wide again. Once again, not bent over like this from the waist, dropping from the knees into the hitting position. Step, hook. Shuffle, hook. Shuffle, hook. Shuffle, hook. With a little bit of a cover, just in case. Okay. Bam. Okay, we'll get started here. Okay. Shuffle, boom. Stay low. Bend the knee. Stay low. Bam. Shuffle. Right into it. You load and shuffle. Bam. Good. Right. Load and shuffle. Shuffle and load. A little more bend in the knees. Drop a little bit more. A little too. All right. You're a little too high. That's it. A little too high. Bam. Bend those knees and fire. Bam. Good. Bend. Fire. So we're following. If he tries to get away along the ropes, we're right after him. Boom. Okay. Now, here's the other thing we want to take a look at. That is this. We'll start here. backing, this is another good drill for you, on the heavy bag. We're going to back him into the, assume that with the heavy bag is our opponent and he's backed into the ropes. So we'll go jab, jab, shuffle, punch, punch, punch. We can go either side on that. So we got him going back, jab, jab, shuffle, punch, punch, punch. Any combination that you want. The point that we want to make here is we want to get an angle so that we have good hitting. So in other words, if he's backed me against the ropes here, we'll show you this up in the ring. Now, we don't want him hitting elbows here. We want him stepping outside right away. Right out here, bam, get that angle. Same thing on the other side. Comes in, boom, right in here, bam, bam, bam. Do not stay right in front of your opponent, because here's what's going to happen if you do. All that's going to happen is, I'm here, he's here, I stay in here. Not only have I got stuff coming back at me, but I'm going to be hitting elbows and hands and everything else. Get the angle, get off here, bam, bam, bam. Then you've got a chance to win. All right. Bam, 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 good. Right. Never straight in. Get him backed up. As soon as you got him trapped, boom, off to the right away and let him go. Bam, bam. Good. Other side. Good. Now give me a different combination. Good. You can double up too if you want to. You can go 1, 2, and then bring the other hand around if you want to. Bam, bam, bam. That's it. Now let's try left hook, right to the body, right hook. Bam, bam, bam. Good. Real good. Try it again. Bam, bam, good. So you can kind of be creative here with what kind of a combination you want to use. The important thing is getting the position so that you've freed part of his body to punch with, so that you've got room to punch. If I stand right in here, once again, then I've got to come right up the middle. It's the only chance I have. Once I step out here, I've got a lot of angles to go. And I can go body, body, head, 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 body, whatever I want to do. You can be creative with whatever works for you, and you can be on either side. Either side. Okay, the next punch that we want to get into is the straight right-hand punch. Once again, one of the most important punches in boxing. I've always felt that you need 5 things to win in boxing. You need outstanding defense, a good, solid, straight right hand so that your opponent won't run up your chest all night, a good left jab that you can use offensively and defensively, good footwork to keep you in position to do all of the things that you want to do, and last but not least, whipcord conditioning. That's a must. You can't do anything if you're not in condition. A fighter that's in condition will beat the best fighter in the world who's out of condition. Always remember that. Now we'll get into the straight right hand, one of the most important punches in boxing, and a punch that can be used as a finisher if it's delivered correctly. Dean, you want to step out here? We'll demonstrate how the right hand works, what the position is. Once again, with the right hand, as with the left jab, we'll start out with a weight transfer theory from the back foot to the front foot, and stepping as you throw the punch. There'll be a slight step just to the outside with your left foot as you step in. So if I'm facing the camera, it would look like this. I will step in just this much. Not only do I get power from stepping, but I'm also removing myself from the line of fire ever so slightly that my opponent sees. So I'm right in here. Right in here. This is where it goes. I step, step, step and punch, step and punch, step and punch. Now, before I deliver the punch, there'll be a slight dip in the back leg to add added power. Same principle as throwing a shot put or any other implement that you want to propel with extra power. Push, push, the slight dip. So I'm going to dip and come up. Dip and come up. Dip and come up. Always remembering that the right hand extends completely out. I'm pushing it all the way through the target, And at the finish of the right hand, once again, I have coverage. My chin is covered. Bang. Bang. Chin is covered, so I have some safety, because when I reach this point, I'm vulnerable. I'm not in my boxing stance. So what do I do when I get to that point? I've stepped, I've thrown the right hand, and I've pivoted. Always remember, pivoting is vital, stepping is vital. Either one will give you power. If you're good enough to do both of them, now you've got increased power. That's about all the power you'd ever need. If I can step and pivot, I've got great power. What do I do after I get here? Well, I've got to follow with a jab, I've got to follow with a hook, I've got to follow with some punch to get me back into my safe boxing position. However, if I come out here with the right hand and I am not able, for whatever reason, to throw a left hand to get me back in position, I've got to defend myself somehow. The next move is, this is the last resort, I drop. That will get me out of the line of fire. But ideally, I'm going to right hand, left hook, or right hand, left jab. Now I'm back in position. Let's see that with Dean. Remember this. There'll be a slight dip before he throws the punch. A slight dip, and then he will finish high, and the right hand will come up and all the way through. There'll be a step with the left foot and a pivot with the right foot for added power. Now, if you don't step with the left foot and you pivot, you're still going to get good power. If you don't pivot and you step, you're going to get power. If you do both, without. Okay, here we go. Bam! Perfect. Now, the only thing you did wrong there, now, that's a pretty good right hand, but he cut it off just a little bit, if you'll notice. The elbow was not extended. On any hard jab or hard straight right hand, we must extend through the target. The elbow has to lock out. Hopefully he'll do it right this time. All right. Bam. That's the idea. All right. Now let's see the step and the pivot. Bam. That's it. Now we had okay, very good. Now we had a step and a pivot. All right, now, step back in. Now, what do you do after that? Well, I explained it earlier, but let's see what he does. Now, you have the option of coming back with a jab, coming back with a left hook, or just dropping. Okay, now, bam, yeah, just dropping. Okay, he dropped. That got him out of the way. Always remember this. 95% of the punches that come back at you are going to be head punches. So people are going to punch where they see your head. Come back in, Dean. Now, so if I see his head right there, that's where I'm going to throw the punch. I'm going to throw the punch at the last place that I saw his head. So if he throws a right hand, boom, his head's still there, but fortunately he's covered. He's still got protection. But if he drops, the head is no longer there. Or if he throws a left jab or a left hook to get back into his good boxing position, that takes me out of business because I've got to be occupied with that punch. I can't be worrying about throwing something back at him when I've got something coming at me. Okay, here we go. Right hand. Bam, bam. Good. Good. And out. If you'll notice when he went out, hopefully we can pick that up. If you'll notice when he went out, he didn't go out high. He went out low, hands up. Okay, let's do it again. Bam, bam. Good. Okay, see it again. Okay, step, pivot, right hand, and bam, bam. Excellent. All right, let's try it again. Bam, bam. Good. Now he went. Excellent. Jab, something. Get yourself protected after the punch. Extremely important. Extremely important. Step back in. Let's go back to the right hand. Now, when we throw this right hand, and it's right off of the chin, it's just a good shoulder turn. Bend your knees. Always want to be, knees are bent. Good shoulder turn, step, pivot, hips turn, shoulders turn, all the things that coaches talk about happen on this maneuver. Now just what? Just bam. Everything here. Just step and pivot and turn. Bam. Perfect. One coaching point here. Make sure that when you throw a right hand that you don't open the shoulders too soon so that the impetus is gone to this punch. You want the punch to come through as the shoulders turn. Sometimes this mistake is made. I step, I turn too soon, but the punch, I haven't launched it yet. So my shoulders have gone through, and I've got this kind of a thing, and I've lost the body behind it. So concentrate when you throw the right hand, right off of here, step, and make sure that this all turns together, that this hand doesn't lag and the shoulders turn too much and the hand doesn't come through. Make this one. Don't even throw a punch. Practice just making this turn so that the shoulders and arms come through. Boom. Rather than here, not here. Plus I'm laying myself open here too if I miss. Just turn and fire. Turn and fire. And locking out, always. This is between me and them. All right, now we're going to demonstrate the old-fashioned 1-2 punch. Everybody got to do it again here just to show you what it looks like. The 1-2, the way I teach it, is a jab right hand thrown off of one step. I want to separate this now from what we just showed you about the shuffle step after a jab. We'll go back to that in a minute when we demonstrate 2 jabs and a straight right hand. But right now, we want to talk about in the old-fashioned 1-2 punch, which is thrown right from the chin after a jab, and it's thrown on one step. One step only. Jab, right hand. Dean, come on in. Here's how this looks. Let's just do it slowly. Just do it slow. Just bam, bam. Perfect. Yeah. Bam, bam. That's it. Now, what he did was perfect. This is a point that I really want to make about the 1-2. When you're practicing it, wherever you practice it, you practice it on a double-end bag, you practice it with your training partner, with the mitts, with your coach, on the heavy bag, wherever it is, in front of the mirror, I don't care where it is, you want to get the feeling of this type of sound and this type of motion on the 1-2. It's got to be it's not 2 together real quickly. It's not, that won't do it. Or it's not, that's too slow. It's got to be it's got to be like that. Why is that? Because we don't want all the power on the jab. We're saving the power for the big punch, which is the right hand. So we're only going to have maybe 65% of our power on that jab, and it happens with this kind of a feel. Bang, bang. Not bang, bang, and not a very slow bang, bang. But a good rhythmic, that's the 1-2. That's what we want. All right, Dean, come on in. Very important that you understand it. Another good coaching point here on the 1-2, if you feel that you're too slow with it, sometimes it's good to use numbers and count to yourself. Just go 1-2, 1-2. You can try that. It's pretty good. I've used it myself. I've used it with fighters, and they've had some success with it and feel that it helps them a little bit. Just counting to yourself. But here's the 1-2 off of one step. Perfect. Perfect. If you'll notice, the jab is good, it's solid, but it's only about a 65% jab. The big punch is the right hand that comes right behind it. Let's try it again. And off of one step only here, and you're holding your weight back a little bit. You're not declaring all of your weight forward. I want to make that point on the jab so that you're not going 1 and you're out here. No, it's 1, and my weight is still back a little bit on this back foot so that I've got some power in the right hand. Let's try it again. Good. Remember, come all the way through. You're still cutting the right hand off a little bit. That's it. That's it. One more time. That's the idea. Okay, now let's go to 2 jabs and a straight right hand. Good combination. You're able to drive your opponent back across the ring. You're in a position now where you've taken control. You've got him moving backwards. 2 jabs and a straight right hand, and you'll follow that with either a left jab or a left hook. That's optional. But the point is you're building up speed on every step so that the second jab, the step on the second jab is a little faster than the step on the first. And by the time you get to the right hand on the third step or shuffle step, you've gained pretty much speed. You've gained maximum speed for the punch. Then the left hook or jab that comes afterwards, merely a punch that gets you back into position. So we'll do it kind of at about half speed, Dean, so that we can get the idea of how this builds up. You'll start off with 2 jabs. We won't show the left hook or the left jab follow in the first combo. I just want to get the speed buildup of the first 3 punches. Bam, bam, bam. That's the idea. Building up speed. Bam, bam, bam. Good. Excellent. You notice he built up speed as he stepped in. We don't want to lose speed here. We don't want the first step on the jab to be faster than the step on the right hand. Try it again. Excellent. Lock that right hand out. Give me a little more lockout on the right hand. That's the idea. Now, when you finish that right hand, once again, we want to get back into our good boxing position. We want to get back in where we're safe. Where are we always safe? Hands up, chin down, in this position. This is the position we want to be in. His jab or his hook after the right hand will get him back into that position. Let's just keep the steps and everything a little shorter in here. Bam, 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 bam. Excellent. Okay, let's try it again. 2 jabs, straight right hand, either a jab or left hook. Bam, 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 bam. Excellent. Going out low once again. He's back in good boxing position. Let's try it with a jab on the 4th one. All right? Bam, 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 bam. Excellent. Okay? Try it again. One more time. Watch the feet. He's building up speed. Coaching point here, building up speed and bringing your feet along with you. He's not way out here. Head is equidistant between the legs. Balance is good. Knees are flexed. Everything's ready to strike. Okay. Bam, 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 bam. Good. All right. Next punch I want to show is 2 jabs and an overhand right. Overhand right. Very good punch. Not the best punch in the world for a tall man to use. Can be used effectively. It's a much better punch for a shorter fighter who has trouble reaching his opponent's chin. Not so good for a tall guy because he now has to crouch down, and if he's in against a shorter guy, it's putting him in a position to get hit himself. Much better for a short man, but we'll demonstrate it here. 2 jabs, and then he will drop. We'll do this very slowly so that you can see it. Jab, jab, drop, bam. Overhand right. Come over the top a little bit more. One good play here is as I jab, jab. Now when I drop, I should do some kind of a cover here or here. The old A. I can wrap my left arm around my chin, but I want to have some coverage here as I drop in there so that I don't get hit with a counter punch or maybe an elbow or something that I don't need to get hit with. Okay, let's try it again. Bam, bam. That's it. And now over the top. Bam, right over the top. Excellent. Try it again. He's covered, he's dropping, and he's throwing the overhand right. Once again, a very good punch for a slugging type, shorter opponent against a taller man who is vulnerable to this type of a punch. Not so good, once again, for a tall, rangy fighter. No need for him to be dropping down, throwing overhand rights. He can stay with his good jab, stay at long range, box at long range with his jab and right hand. For a shorter man, excellent punch. Something every short fighter who does not have long arms should have in his repertoire. It's a must. Let's try it again, Dean. Good cover now. Just nice and relaxed. Bam, bam, drop, bam, and over, bam. Excellent. I want to talk a little bit about the left hook now. The left hook, always remember, is a counter punch or a follow punch in a combination. Do not lead with left hooks. As the old timers used to say, never resort to hooking unless your opponent isn't looking. And very, very true. But it's a good counter punch. Very good counter punch to be used when a guy misses a right hand after a feint and you're on that side. You can use it as a hard punch to the liver, as an overhand punch to the head, but it's best as a follow punch from any type of right hand or off of a jab. And the key thing in the left hook is this: keeping the area of the hook, elbows in once again, right in front of your opponent so that he doesn't get a good look at it. You don't want to get too far out of this center area so that his peripheral vision can pick it up. Once my hook gets out in here, why, it's easy to see. But when it's in here, it's quick, and it's delivered quickly with a good pivot, and speed is uppermost in your mind when you're throwing this punch. It's got to be fast. And key coaching point in the hook, when you're hooking high, the elbow must be up. Has to be up. The elbow has to be in this position. All you have to do is to have anybody try and push against their arm when the elbow's down and you have no power at all. None. You can't generate power from here. But as the elbow's up, now the shoulder and back come into play. Now you have power. The elbow must be up on the hook, must have a nice bend in it. And when you're hooking to the body, of course, it's a little different in that the elbow will be down now, but there's still a nice bend in the elbow. But we'll get to that in body punching. Right now we're concerned with head punching and the punch coming through. So what I want to do is when I'm throwing a left hook, either after a jab or after a right hand, is I want to make sure that I'm in a good stance. If I've jabbed, then I'm going to drop that left hand just ever so slightly underneath my opponent's chin or just about at shoulder level, drop and turn that with a good pivot and come right across with it in this manner. I'm not going to get way out here with it where it can be seen. I'm not going to wave. I'm not going to be flapping elbows out here. I'm going to keep everything centered as much as possible and try to get power on my hook from the pivot and the speed of the hook rather than the distance that it has to travel. One other important point, keep the elbow up so that if I miss, I'm covered up. Very important. If I come through here and I miss, I've still got protection. So I jab, drop it ever so slightly, now elbow up and turn. This is the motion that you want to get in the hook, not this. Here's what you don't want to do. Jab and go out here. No good. He'll see it. You'll never hit him in a million years. But if I keep it in this framework here, elbows in, everything in the center, it's very difficult for anybody to see punches coming from inside. Now I have a chance to land a punch. One other point, too, if I'm a southpaw, I haven't touched on southpaws yet. Everything that we've done here is the same except the right foot is forward. Everything that we've touched on is the same as far as the feet goes, the stance, everything. If I were a southpaw, I'd just be here in this maneuver. But always remember that. Everything we've done is transferable to the southpaw stance. The hook. After a jab, it's here. After a right hand, quickly get it in. Right hand, quickly get it in. Right hand, quick. It's all about speed on the left hook. Do not get it. I can't emphasize enough how important it is not to be wide with this so your opponent can see it. Believe me, we'll show you how, with a pivot and with generating speed and the slight drop, we can get enough power, and we're also able to reach an opponent when he's backing away from us if necessary. Why? Because we'll be stepping in. Okay, what we're going to demonstrate here is the jab and hook, then a feint jab and a hook, and then a hook coming after a right hand, and then we'll also show how you can hook when you have to follow an opponent, how the footwork will work on that. But first of all, we'll go to the hook off of a left jab. Keeping in mind the coaching points that I mentioned, the elbows are in, the left jab will drop just underneath the chin, and the power will be generated by the pivot and the speed of the punch. Okay. Excellent. All right, let's try it again. Notice how elbows are in. Notice how he's generating a lot of power, and this never gets out here, but there's more than enough power here to knock a guy out. Boom, bam. Excellent. One more time. Bam, bam. Excellent. All right. Now let's do it off of a feint. We'll do the same punch off of a feint jab and then a hook. All right. Excellent. All right. Good. One more time. Feint, hook. Bam. Good. All right. Now, before we go into the right hand left hook, let's go to following across the ring. Let's go to 2 jabs and a left hook. Okay? And this is, once again, bringing your feet along, stepping on every punch. You'll see it right here. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Excellent. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. Excellent. A great punch combination is one that the old-timer Joe Gans used off of this. He would throw 2 jabs and a left jab to the body, followed by a left hook. And we'll show you that right now. 2 jabs, left jab to the body, okay? Left hook. Bam, 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 bam. Excellent. Bam, bam, boom, bam. Excellent. It's a real good combination. If you've been throwing right hands, doing those kinds of maneuvers, it's a great maneuver because they're expecting a different combination. They're expecting a right hand high, but no. They're getting a jab and a left hook, all of combination, and very difficult to stop. Very difficult. Okay. Now we're going to throw a right hand left hook, right? Okay. Bam, bam. Good. Keeping it right in close. Yeah, just bam, bam. Good. One more. Bam, bam. Good. That's a right hand left hook. Now we can also throw a left hook from a feint to the body, which we showed in one of our earlier sequences, but we'll show it again right now. So he's going to feint to the body this time. It'll be a feint to the body, and then a left hook. Bam, bam. Right. Now you can go into a little more of a crouch if you want to. Yeah, yeah. Bam, bam. Yeah, a little more, get down a little more to the outside here on that one. Bam, bam. Good. Okay. Keep in mind that when we're talking about the left hook, we never lead with the left hook. Never lead with it. You never want to get into that because you're extremely vulnerable. Leading with a left hook opens you up for all kinds of counter punches. So don't lead with a left hook. Same principle as leading with a right hand. If I go out there and lead with a long left hook, get out in this position and miss, I'm in a lot of trouble. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about defense now. You know, it's been said many times in many different sports, not just boxing, that defense is the name of the game. And certainly in boxing, no matter what kind of offense you have, no matter how hard a puncher you are, if you don't have a good defense, you're not going to go very far. It's that simple. So we'll go over some of the basic elements of good defensive boxing, palming punches, or catching punches, as some trainers refer to, parrying, pulling away, batting punches down, slipping punches, ducking punches, bobbing, weaving, retreating, batting punches down. I think I already mentioned that. And some of the other areas that feinting, sidestepping, a lot of the things that can help you defensively. Well, Dean, if you'll step out here, we'll start in with the first defensive maneuver being the catch or palm, as I call it. It's extremely important, done with the right hand. By the way, in boxing, it's always important for the right hand to be relaxed. I like both hands to be relaxed until just before impact. The left hand can be, the left fist can be a little tighter. You always want to stay relaxed and keep the right hand loose, free, and easy, because that's your last line of defense. That's the only thing between you and your chin many, many times. Also, in defending yourself, elbows in, of course that's axiomatic in boxing, and keeping the hands fairly close to the face so that you're not reaching out to try and block or deflect punches, because if I reach out here in any manner to block or deflect or parry a punch and I miss, I'm laying myself open to an immediate counter punch off of that from my opponent, and he can turn any punch, no matter how inconsequential it may seem, into a scoring blow if I'm out here and I miss. So we'll start off with the palm or catch, as it's referred to, and we'll do it off of a jab and block, and then we'll do it just merely catching or palming the punch. First of all, we'll just jab and block. Jab and block. So you can see the position of the right hand right in front of the chin, not way out here, but right here, nice and relaxed, where his is, and we'll just jab and catch or jab. There. Bam. There. Bam. Good. See, so I better be a little stronger. Bam. Okay. Bam. There. That is the catch or the palm. Now this can be done. Watch him. Put your hand down. Now watch him. You can palm a punch anytime you want to, just without even doing anything else. Then this also can lead to some combination that you may want to use. But watch what he does here. Okay, just bam. He's just palming the punch. Bam. Bam. bam, palming the punch. Now, if he wants to do something off of that, he can catch that punch or palm it and come right back with his own jab. Bam, bam, right there. That's the palm. Just keeping the hand in, using it as a shield against either a jab, a hook, or a right hand. A little cross-blocking if the guy's got a dangerous right hand. Now, the parry, here, drop this hand. The parry is merely a quick motion done with the right hand open, parrying the punch away. And the key coaching point here is not to push it too far, not to flap your arm around here when you're doing this. It's done quickly so that you can get right back into position. Watch him when he does it here. Excellent. Just a quick maneuver, quick maneuver. The pull away, very important. All you do in the pull away is you're just going to step back. Many trainers say never step back, always go in. All the great fighters have been able to step back, you just have to know when to do it. You must know how to retreat, you must know how to pull away from punches, not just to counter, but to keep from getting hit. So he will step back here and pull away ever so slightly. Now, he's still in position. You don't want to pull away a long way. So if I'm going to pull away from his jab, I'm only going to pull away this far. Okay, that's just that far. Here, again, just that far. That's all I need to do to get away. So we'll do it again, the pull away. Yeah, don't block it. Just pull away. That's it. Excellent. Now, the bat down. This is an excellent maneuver. Hands are held a little higher and open so that I can bat down punches. I can either bat down a jab or I can bat down straight punches as an opponent comes in. Now, to begin with, we'll just have him bat down the jab. Bat down the jab. And then you can counter off of this as well. That's it. Batting down. Bam. Bam. Now, he can counter with a right hand off of that. He can come back with a left hand, whatever he wants to do. That's the bat down. Now, let's step over this way a little more. Now, this is really important. Against an opponent that likes to rush in throwing straight punches, you can back up keeping both hands open and high, and in close, elbows in, and you're just batting down punches as you go back. There's an old Jack Johnson maneuver. Bam, 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 bam. All right, step back. I hope we can see that. Bam, 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 bam. Keeping the hands going quickly, not going too far down with them. Bam, 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 right there. Good. All right, now, next maneuver, blocking. Blocking, very important to be able to block. Hands in once again. His hands are in. Anything that comes around here like a hook, he will block and take it out, or as I call, salute it, so that the hands just go out. So if I'm trying to hit him with a left hook, bam, he just salutes it right there. Bam, salute. Bam. If I'm trying to hit him with a right hand, same thing, bam, right out. And he's in good position. If you'll notice, he's not knocked off balance, not falling off balance. That's why you got to be strong enough. Strength is important here to maintain your balance so that you can hook or counter off of this. Bam, he's right there, ready to punch. Bam. Whoa! Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Now let's try it the other side. All right. Bam. 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 Excellent. Now, if you get into a lot of trouble here, here's the maneuver that you can go to. And this is an old-time maneuver. A lot of trainers still teach it. I think it's excellent. You're just going up, hands up, elbows up, high, bam, up here, bam, up here, bam, up here, bam, up here. Very common maneuver, taught by many instructors. Still works, still excellent. Just elbow up, bam, 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 bam. Very, very good. If things really get tough and you're backed into a corner now and everything else goes wrong, hopefully you'll be able to sidestep and get to the outside. But if you can't, you've got to go to one of two maneuvers if you're trapped on the ropes. Hopefully you'll have enough speed and skill to sidestep, retreat, and get away, which we'll show you how to do in a minute. But if you get trapped on the ropes and you have no place else to go, now you've got to go to either this, which I'm not real crazy about, but it's better than nothing because a hard puncher will sail right through that. And if he's really good and knows what he's doing, he's going to step off either side, which I will get to later when we discuss body punching. And you're still wide open. I don't like it, but if you have to do it, you have to do it. I like the old Archie Moore crab much better. Getting into here, try it, Dean, right into here. Now you can dive out of the corner, hit him right in the chest, go out on either side. or you can just dive right in and hit him right in the chest, bam, and go out. And you've covered up enough. It's not pretty. It's not a real good counter-punching area because unless you can get in here with a left hook, but it's effective. Now, let's go to the side step. Most important step in boxing to keep from being trapped on the ropes, to get you out of problems. You're backing away, and you just sidestep, a quick sidestep. I want you to watch the footwork here. It's very important. Do it slower, Dean. Coming in, yeah, nice and slow. That's it. I'm coming in, nice and easy, bam, and over. Now, there's 3 or 4 different ways to sidestep. Now, I'll demonstrate some of those right now. If I'm in here like this, and I'm retreating, I can back up, bring my feet together, and step out. Now, if I want to go right away, I can just use the old Joe Walcott move, just pivot and step out here, eyeing my opponent, looking to maybe throw a right-hand lead. Joe Walcott hit a lot of people with that maneuver. He was in this position. You'd start, sometimes he would do it off of a feint, pivot, step, fire. Watch the feet here. Feint, pivot, step. Once again, remember, I'm bringing the feet along. I'm never out here. Always bringing the back foot along. Pivot, step, be ready to fire. Now, I also have another option off of this. I can just bring this foot back and then start circling. Bring this foot back and start circling. Once again, when I feel a lot of room between me and the opposite ropes, I'm looking back there. I've got to get ready to move unless I'm going to counter. Then we also have what Dean just did, where I step back to get additional ground and to make a further retreat, getting deeper, bring the foot back, and now I circle. All these maneuvers, defensive maneuvers to get you out of trouble. I want to go over 4 more defensive maneuvers: rolling, slipping, ducking. We'll combine that with a weave, and crouching. So come on out, Dean, and we'll take a look at the roll or turn away, which is a good maneuver. Usually this is a better maneuver to use if you feel like you want to counter off of it. There's a couple of maneuvers off of it which I will show you. One is just the roll away, where you're just hiding in behind your shoulder. The right hand is up. This is down to protect right here under the heart, protect your side, kidneys, and it's just a turn. So as the punch comes, he will just turn. Boom. You just turn, the punch will sail over his shoulder, over his head, and it puts him in a position to counter. As this goes boom over, he can now come back with a right hand. Here, come back with a right hand. Boom. And he comes back with a right hand. You can also throw a left hook on this if you're real experienced and have a lot of guts. It's a tough maneuver, but as this punch comes, he'll keep this out here a little bit. He will turn now, but he'll hook with this punch as this comes in. Bam. So the punch comes in, bam, and he turns and hooks with it. I don't recommend that unless you've had a lot of experience, had a lot of time to practice. The roll or turn away itself, though, is not a bad maneuver if you stay tucked in here behind your chin. I mean, with your chin tucked in behind your shoulder, the right hand up, and you just turn away like this. Keep a little look out here. The punch flies over your shoulder, and you're in a position to counter. Now we'll go into slipping. Slipping can be done 2 ways. Slipping can be done inside of a jab, which is very dangerous unless well, I don't recommend this. Let me put it that way. I recommend slipping to the outside, and I'll tell you why in a minute. In other words, when we're in here like this, as he slips to the inside, okay? But he's right in the way of a right hand, so if you're going to slip to the inside, and this is what Archie Moore used to do. He would slip to the inside, but he would pin your right hand up with his right hand. Now watch this. So as he slips in here, he pins that right there, and now he goes for the opening wherever it is. Left of the body or a left over the top. Either way. Very, very dangerous maneuver, though, slipping to the inside. Slipping to the outside, much safer, gives you a lot more opportunity to use combination punching. Slip to the outside merely means that he's slipping away from the jab. Here, outside, now he's in a position for a left, right, left combination. You're in position for many different combinations, and you're away from the right hand. Because when he goes, he's out here. My left has gone over his left shoulder. Now he's in a position to counter. Bang, bang, bang. You can use any number of combinations off of that. Let's try it again. So if we're standing up here, and he's going to slip to the outside, bam, Right there. He's in business. Slipping to the inside, as I said, very dangerous, can be done, but I recommend if you do it, try this again, Dean, I recommend if you do it that you pin the other guy's right hand with your right hand. Still you have a left hand free, and it's much safer. So if we go here, he's on the inside there. Now he's got me stopped, and he's close enough to do something. But just to slip to the inside without pinning the other guy's right hand, do not recommend it. Also, you might get hit with an elbow in there. It's very, very dangerous. Let's go to ducking or bobbing. Now, as he ducks under, you can duck. I recommend ducking basically under hooks or swings. So if I throw a swing and he ducks, boom, now he's in pretty good position. Don't raise up so quick. Here comes a right swing. He's underneath, stay down there, and he's now in a position to counter whatever's open. The liver, the head, whatever he wants to do, he can throw a two-punch combination. Now, if I throw a left swing, he can duck and, or bob, as they used to call it, and weave on the other side. Here, now he's in position to make the move. That's why I said earlier, do not lead with hooks. This is what can happen to you if you do. So I'm out here like this, and I throw a hook, I'm in trouble. Or I throw a right swing, and I'm in trouble. It's just a question of dropping down, ducking, and then moving, shifting your weight ever so slightly. Let's show that, Dean. Just going under. Watch how he shifts his weight. Shift. Yeah, shift over to the side. Yeah, that's it. Watch the feet here. Now he comes in, he's underneath, and shifting back so that's it. You've seen a lot of trainers do this. They hold a rope up in some gyms or, whatever they can to get people to do that maneuver. But that's called ducking or bobbing and weaving. Another real good defensive maneuver. But this, once again, takes a little skill, the crouch. Now, if you go into a crouch, Jim Jeffries, old-timers used to do this. In recent history, James Toney was very good at it. Made him very hard to hit because you can pull away from this position. You're forcing a guy to punch down at you, but if he misses, you're in a real good position to counter. Now, now get down a crouch, a little more of a crouch. Now, it looks like I'm going to be able to do something here, punch down at the guy, but if he pulls back just a little bit, I'm in a lot of trouble. Now, if I try to swing at him like this, he's going to go right underneath it. Boom. Now, if I try to jab or bring him up, all he does is move back, or he'll just block it with his right hand. Bam, if I try to do this and try to bring him up. So this is not a bad thing to practice. It takes a little skill, takes a little work, but the crouch is very good. The main thing that you want to remember in the crouch is get down low, once again, head equidistant between the 2 feet, but keep this right hand in position to where you can cover, I can still block, I can still cover, I can still cross block, and anything that punches down, I can just pull back. It's only going to take that much for me to pull back. A very, very good maneuver against guys who are taller than you who like to punch down, because punching down is a dangerous pastime. I don't recommend it. And if you're on the other end, on the crouch, you've got a chance down in here to pull back and make a lot of things happen. A lot of combinations you can use off of that. Now, we go to the next plan, which is we're going to go to body punches now. We're going to see if we can get into the body. How do we get into the body? I'll show you right now. You're coming around here, we jab, jab. We jab a couple of times, but the key to body punching is this, and we'll show it later, how to maneuver on the heavy bag, how to get power. All I want to do now is show you how to get in. The key in getting in is to jab and go out, jab and go out, jab and go out, jab and go out, jab and go out. Now you come in and you step right to the outside. Step right out here. Lower, lower. That's it. Let's do that again. He's up in here. Watch me. I'll jab and go out. Jab and go out. Now he thinks I'm going to jab again, but I'm going to drop. Step, drop, cover. Watch this. Step, drop, cover. Go out twice after jabs. Jab and out, all right? Jab and out. Jab. Now step, drop, and cover. Right in there. He's in good position. His knees are bent. He's low. He's in a position to double up on the hook. He's got power. My right hand is pretty much muffled. Watch this. Look where he winds up. Bam. Okay. Let's jab twice and go out. Bam and go out. Okay. Jab and go out. Jab. Now step quick. Bam. I'm pretty much muffled here. It's pretty hard. That's why he's quick. You've got to get in there quick. Step, drop, cover, pivot. Those are the 4 things you want to remember if you're going to punch hard to the body. Step, drop, cover, pivot. Once again, short, hard punch right into the liver will do it. And then if you hit there, then we go back on top too and see if we can hit him on the chin. Let's do it again. Bam and out. Okay. Bam and out. Now step, drop, bam. There you go. Now you're ready to let him sail. Now you're ready to let him sail. If you want to go on the other side, that's fine too. Step and go out. Bam and out. Right. Bam and out. Right there. Quickly. I'm going to show you a better maneuver, though, to get out there, particularly if a guy's coming in on you. Watch this. If I step in, there's 2 maneuvers that he can use, and these are 2 of the best maneuvers in the world for hard body punching, particularly to the solar plexus. One is this. I step in, and as I step in to jab him, he pushes my jab over and steps out with his right foot. Bang. And loads up a left hook. Step more forward. So here's the key there. You want to boom, okay? Step, but step more forward, all right? You must step forward on that. Step forward. That's it, right in there. And he's loaded it up. Try it again. Boom, right there. That's the way you go over on the right side. The left side is what we showed before. If you're going on this side, step, drop, and pivot. If you're going to go over on the other side, if you're going out on my left side or your right, just push it over, step, and you've got it. There's one other maneuver here, too, that I want to show you. If a guy's coming in hard on you, right straight in, now you can push this over and step with your left foot outside of my left foot and load it up. There it is. Bam, right in here, and you go right on by. 2 maneuvers. 2 maneuvers, and I'll go over them once again. Now I'm going to throw these right over here, and I'll do these myself. Come here, Dean. The first maneuver is as I jab and go out, step, drop, cover, and pivot right here. The other maneuver is if I want to go over on this side and punch to the body under the heart, the key here is I got to get rid of his jab. Go ahead, jab, boom. And now I just step with my foot right here. That's why it's so important for me to always be lined up my left foot with his left foot. He jabs at me, bam, and I'm right here. I'm safe. I've got everything. I've got his arm between my face and his right hand, and I can go bang, bang, bang. Any combination that I want to use there. It's a terrific maneuver. One thing that I haven't mentioned, but I should have, when you're parrying punches, always aim in the area of the guy's wristwatch. Assume he had a wristwatch on. If you try parrying the glove, you may miss. If you get up here too high, it may slip through and catch you. Think about parrying, once again, with your hands closed, but think about getting him right about at the wristwatch. It's a real good place to get him. Real good place to get him. And as he jabs, bang, I go here, my right foot goes out, and I throw to the body. That's how you go to the body on each side. It's really important, because you've got to be able to do it. You hear trainers say, go to the body. Yeah, but how do I do it? Well, you better know how to step, drop, pivot. You better know how to parry and step out and get in a good position to throw the punch. Let's go over that again, because I think this is really important. He's here, I jab, bang, right there. He's got rid of it, he's stepped outside, bang, and he's ready to drive that left to the body and maybe come over the top with a right hand. If he goes on the other side, bam, quickly. You got to go quick, and you got to drop, you got to cover, and then you pivot and let it go wherever you want to go. Go to the body. This is some of the strategy that you can use early in a fight, rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you've got to be able, as I said before, to shuffle the deck. You've got to be able to go to plan B, C, D, E, whatever it takes. If the only thing you can land is a jab, then that's what you're going to stay with. You've got to win. You always have to think about winning. You can't go out there, get too extemporaneous and try a lot of different things that you don't know. You better have them in your arsenal. You better have the jab, better have the left hook, better have the right hand, better have good solid body punching, better have feinting, better have things that you can go to that'll help you win. The key to clinching is this: tying up your opponent and keeping your head out of the way so you don't get hurt. How do we do this? The best way to do it is with what I call the breaststroke maneuver. It's just as if you're in swimming. The hands, you're in this position, the hands are up. Step over here, we get a little better angle. The hands are up, and all I'm going to do is kind of do the breaststroke. I'm going right between his gloves. I'm going over the top, grabbing these gloves, pulling them down against my side so that he can't rip them out, and putting my head over the outside of his shoulder so I cannot be butted, and then I wait for the referee to break. That's all I'm doing. It's a maneuver that sometimes you have to use. You're on the ropes. You're in a position where you have to clinch. You may be hurt, or you may be in a position where just nothing's working for you, and you want to get started all over again, get back into the ring. So here's the key. Now, Dean, you do it to me. I'm up here. Just the breaststroke. You go right through, over the top, and perfect. And his head's on the outside. Now, one other thing about clinching. If your opponent is a guy that likes to bend down in a clinch and get down into here and you're on top, use your weight, use your leverage. Nothing's more strength-sapping than having somebody lean on you. Don't be afraid to use your weight and leverage in close. Just lean on him. Let the referee break it up. Conversely, if he's over the top of you in this manner, trying to grab on, and you're underneath here, use a little of your leverage. You lift up. Give him a little bit of a business here. Push up under there because it's easy for me. Now I have him at a disadvantage, and I may be able to sneak some punches in here. Use weight and leverage to your advantage. If you're on top, lean on him. If you're underneath, lift up, see if you can get some punches in. He won't be in a position to do much till the referee gets there. And remember, above all, the best clinching method is up here, the breaststroke. Go ahead, Dean. Right through, and boom. And your head's over the outside, and you're safe, and let the referee break it up. So the breaststroke for clinching, grab both gloves, tie them into the side, wait for the referee. Now, I want to go over briefly here some rough, dirty tactics that are outlawed in professional boxing, but may happen to you when you're in the ring. Hopefully the referee will see them and penalize or disqualify your opponent. This doesn't always happen, so we'll show you some of these things to look for right now with Dean. First, you know about low blows. Low blows are always a threat. Some fighters will not throw a low blow per se to the groin, but they'll try and throw a low blow to the hip. This happens, and this can have the same effect, if you hit it right, the same effect as a hip pointer in football. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen down at the Forum in Los Angeles. I've seen it happen where guys can get hit low on the hip bone, and will get a hip pointer. And if they are able to continue, they're not very maneuverable. And you always wonder, well, was this done purposely or not? But it's something to be aware of. And if somebody does it to you, why, you might want to retaliate. One other maneuver that's used a lot in boxing, was in the past, not as much today, is the right uppercut turned into an elbow, because it's very difficult to see. So that the opponent will throw a right elbow as he comes up with what looks like a right uppercut. And it comes up and through, but he's not concerned with whether he lands it or not, because as he comes up, the glove will come out ever so slightly. Now the elbow can be driven into the sternum, which is extremely painful, and if that misses, then comes up through the chin. But it's very hard to detect because it just looks like it's missed, but you get a double deal there. You get one in the sternum and one in the chin. So always be careful of somebody who's throwing constant uppercuts and you don't feel the punch. All you feel is the elbow. You might want to say something to your corner man. He'll say something to the referee, but it's still done. I've seen it. Also, the punch that I just mentioned to the hip. Another punch that you might face sometimes, it's not a punch per se, is the using of the laces. This is very difficult nowadays because they cover the gloves with tape, or the gloves are thumbless, and in some instances, still in boxing, they will use the wraparound, as this is, the Velcro, and it doesn't actually work like a lace, but it's still painful if it's used. The other thing, too, that you always have to be careful of is that the inside of the glove is very hard. It's not padded. And that can be used on the ear. This comes by here. It looks like a hook, but you don't turn the glove over, and you hit the ear, can break an eardrum, can cause an ear to swell immediately. Very, very, very difficult punch to detect whether the man is trying to throw a punch or whether he's trying to injure you with the inside of the glove. Another trick that is used sometimes is to aim a punch at the inside of your opponent's, it could happen to you, at the inside of the opponent's arm. This area in here, very sensitive to a punch on the inside of the arm and can really be debilitating, sometimes maybe making it difficult for you to even use that arm afterwards. But if he has his arm out, Dean has his arm out like this, and I just come right in here like this, I don't even try. I'm not even trying. I'm just trying to hit him right in here in the soft part of the bicep. And if you hit that right in there, particularly with the thumb area, if I hit that with the thumb and get it in there, that can also render a man not totally useless, but put him into a position where he has a lot of trouble using that arm. Another thing is, we touched on clinching briefly, but you always have to be careful in a clinch of somebody getting the head underneath you and lifting up into your chin. Also, be careful of an opponent who's smaller than you are, shorter than you are, who likes to dive in with his head. You've got to be careful. Like if Dean starts to dive in with his head, this happens all the time. You've got to be very careful. That's why you want to be able to stay at long range against a guy that's diving in with his head. You've got to be able to get out of the way. Of course, you could meet him with uppercuts. But if you miss, you could be in a lot of trouble. The thumb to the eye, that's is not as common nowadays because the thumbless glove has kind of eliminated that as a problem. But those are just some of the areas where you can get into trouble with heads, elbows, these different kinds of maneuvers, and you want to be aware of them yourself. And if it's happening to you, you're left with either complaining to the referee, letting your corner complain about it, or retaliating in some measure yourself. Sometimes that's the best way to handle it is, he fouls you, you foul him. It's a tough sport. One more thing that you always want to be careful of in a clinch is your opponent getting you in kind of an arm bar almost. Step in, Dean, where you get him like this, and in this position now, and start reeling him around, and the elbow can give. This happened to Gabriel Wells in a fight up in Las Vegas a few years ago. His elbow was dislocated, and his career really was never quite the same after that, even though he came back to win a world's title. But he never was as effective after that. Same thing happened in the Holyfield-Tyson fight. Tyson had Holyfield in a similar situation. Step back in here, Dean. But if you get into that kind of a position, you want to jerk your arm. Here's the thing. When the glove is like this, you've got a chance to pull it out. That's why if anybody gets you into a clinch like that, immediately roll your glove over with the thumb up. Roll your glove over with the thumb, because now you have a chance to pull it out. Pull. You got a chance. If, however, you keep the thumb over in this fashion with the palm down, now you'll never be able to pull it out. So you want to immediately turn the thumb up. Now you have a chance to pull it out. Remember that. You want to get out of a clinch. You're not happy with the way it looks in there. Turn the thumb up. You now have a chance to pull it out. Keep the thumb over here. It'll catch against your back. You won't be able to get it out. But think about think about being in a clinch, and if you're in this clinch now, and a guy gets your arm like this. Now you roll over my arm. Yeah, you roll over my arm like this. Remember, it's going to be difficult for me to get out, but I'll never get out unless I turn the gloves up. Then I have a chance. But if I keep the gloves over, there's no way I can get out. But I might get out if I turn the thumb up. Using the heavy bag, we're going to use a little bit of a different routine this time with the bag, using more straight punches. Why do we use the heavy bag? It's probably the best tool in any gym to build strength and power. There isn't any other piece of equipment that's going to make you stronger and give you more power than the heavy bag. It's the best. Also, you have to use good technique or you're not going to get any place with it. Bag won't move. Nothing will happen. It'll be very frustrating. Dean, come on in. What we want to do here is we've already looked at hooks high and low. We've also looked at shuffling off. What we want to work on here is getting good form, building power with a good straight 1-2. That's all we want to do. We don't want too much power on the jab to begin with. What we want is to get real good form, everything turning in, so as you hit the bag, you feel this power coming all the way through and that you've got everything behind it. It isn't how hard you punch at this bag, it's how coordinated your body is when the punch arrives. That's the only thing that makes any difference. So in other words, it's not going to help for me to come up to this bag and try to hit this thing as hard as I can. What's important is for me to come up here and feel a good bam, bam, so that I feel that everything's happening here and that I've got my body right behind it. Well, right in here. Just the only thing that makes any difference in here is what happens from my right hand to the bag. That's the only thing that makes any difference. Bam, bam. Am I pivoting? Now I want to step and pivot. Step and pivot. Step and pivot. Let that right foot glide up just a little bit if you want to. You don't have to anchor the right foot. That's a point that I didn't make earlier when we were talking about the right hand. And that is, anytime I throw a straight right hand, there's nothing wrong with my right foot gliding up just a little bit and coming along with me. So that I don't have to be like this. This right foot can slide up just a little bit. Bam, I'm still able to pivot, still able to step, and still able to pivot. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Just 1-2. You want to feel everything here. This is all about feel. A little lower. A little lower. Bam, bam. Okay. Right. Okay, let that right foot slide up just a little bit so we can see that. That's it. Let it slide up. Right. That's it. Don't get too far out there. Keep your head in a little more. That's it. All right. Very good. Right. Good form. Okay, now let's just use it, just turning your right hand into the bag. Not worrying about the left hand, not worrying about how much power you get on it, worrying about a good shoulder turn, a good hip turn, and good pivot with the right toe. All right, just turn and let it go. Bam, that's it. Turn. Bam, good. Good. Turn. Bam, good. Good. Ooh, that's good. Good solid punch. Good, good. Okay. Now, only thing we're going to add to this now is we're going to make believe that we've already thrown a jab. That's not important. The important thing here is getting this kind of a look. You're right in here, right hand, left to the body. Right hand, left to the body. That's all. Pivot on both. Just want to get a good feel. We'll also do that out of a southpaw stance too, just to build power on both sides. All right. Not too hard now. The important thing is just a good feel. Turn, bam, bam. Good. 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 All right, now, if we're going to do this on the other side, we'll go into a southpaw stance or a left shift. Move them right over here just to build power. Who knows if we would ever need this? You never know. Might be coming out of a clinch sometime. You might be in a left shift. You want to fire right away. So all he's going to do is he's going to throw. We're going to lead with a straight left hand now. This is good for southpaws too. Lead straight left hand, right hook. Straight left, right hook. That's all. You got it? Right. Just nice turn. Bam, bam. Yeah. Bam. Right. Bam, bam. Right. Okay. That's good. All right. Back here at the Straight Blast Gym, one more heavy bag drill that I think is very, very good for building strength, power, and stamina. Dean, step in here, please. All this is, we're just going to come in here, we're going to be right in front of the bag in this position, knees bent, once again flexed, and we're just going to start in jab, 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 jab. It's like a jab, but we're down here. It's basically a hook or a straight punch, whatever you want to call it. And we're just working once again on getting a good pivot on every punch. We'll gradually build up on this. You can start off doing these, start off with 10, 15, 20, whatever it is. You want to work up to where you can do 100. And the important thing is that you're doing each one correctly and that you're getting a good pivot on each punch. It's not how hard you do it. You'll have plenty of power as long as you do it correctly. Knees bent, right in front of the bag. 1, 2, bam, bam. Pivot on each one. And bam. Okay. Now, this time, we want to show it with the elbows in a little closer. Not quite that much of a hook. More of a straight punch right in here and bring it up just a little higher. Okay? Here, 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 here. All right? Straight punches now. Bam, 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 bam. 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 Okay. Important thing to remember here is you want to build up stamina so that you can do 100 of these in a row. For most of the guys, it's not going to be too difficult. You'll get to where you can do that pretty fast, pretty quickly, but you want to make sure that you do it correctly. Always remembering, once again, good positioning, knees bent. Just keep going. Some of you will go further than that. But you've got to build stamina, you've got to build power. This is the best way to do it.
What is that joke?